Imagine ruling an empire where everyone wants money, the army, the nobles, the court, and you got the throne through a coup. No safety net, no guarantees. One mistake and you're gone. This was the reality of Catherine the Great. She wasn't born rich, she wasn't born Russian, and she definitely didn't inherit a healthy economy. Yet she managed to finance wars, palaces, and one of the most powerful courts in Europe, and stay on the throne for more than 30 years. So how did she do it? Not with romance, not with philosophy, with money, and very personal decisions about it. In this episode, we're not talking about abstract reforms or dry economics. We're talking about her fears, her daily life, her obsession with control, and how money became her most reliable weapon. Because before Catherine the Great built an empire, she had to survive it. Early morning in St. Petersburg. Cold, always cold. The kind of cold that seeps into stone walls and never really leaves. Catherine wakes up early. She drinks strong coffee. She reads letters before breakfast. Not love letters, reports. Governors explaining why taxes didn't arrive, generals asking for more funds, courtiers requesting money, land, favors. This was her real daily routine, before the portraits, before the legends, before anyone called her great. Catherine was born a minor German princess. No great fortune, no powerful name. When she arrived in Russia as a teenager, she was almost invisible. She reused dresses, borrowed books, watched people very carefully. She learned Russian on purpose. She studied people more than ideology, and she understood one thing early. In this country, affection doesn't protect you. Marriage doesn't protect you. Only control does, including control over money. When Catherine took the throne in 1762, it looked triumphant from the outside. Inside, it was terrifying. She had removed her husband. She knew others could do the same to her. She wrote later that ruling Russia felt like holding a wild horse by the reins in winter. The economy was unstable. Corruption was everywhere. Money vanished between provinces and the capital, and Catherine knew if she looked financially weak, she would not survive politically. Catherine worked constantly. She read reports herself, corrected documents, demanded explanations. She hated waste. She hated disorder. She hated people treating state money like personal cash. At the same time, she understood when to spend. Lavish court life wasn't indulgence, it was protection. A powerful image meant stability. Stability meant fewer challenges. Every banquet, every uniform, every candle had a purpose. Catherine looked at the country and saw something simple. Russia didn't lack resources. It lacked cash. Grain fields stretched endlessly. Forests never ended. Iron, timber, furs, everywhere. So she pushed exports. Ships left Russian ports loaded with grain. Furs ended up in European wardrobes. Iron crossed borders. Not as gifts, as business. This is when real money started coming in. Catherine hated chaos, so she supported financial reforms. Banks, more organized lending, more predictable state finances. For the first time, money was tracked. This meant planning, and planning meant control. Russia could now borrow strategically, not in panic.
Every war was a test. Victory meant legitimacy. Defeat meant danger. Catherine never forgot the cost. Taxes increased. Resources were redirected. She knew exactly who paid, and she accepted it. Power always came with a bill. Catherine rewarded the nobility generously. Land, titles, privileges, not out of trust, but calculation. They collected taxes, maintained order, protected her rule. Loyal elites were expensive. Revolutions were worse. Peasants suffered the most. Higher taxes, harsher conditions, expanding serfdom. The Golden Age didn't shine for everyone. Catherine knew this. She believed a strong state mattered more than comfort. By modern standards, cruel. By 18th century politics, effective. Catherine loved warm rooms, good food, books everywhere. She hated cold, darkness, discomfort. She invested in palaces, libraries, art, not just for politics. Culture justified power. If Russia looked enlightened, her rule looked legitimate. This was deeply personal.
Catherine wrote constantly. Letters, notes, memoirs. She was obsessed with legacy. She understood something very modern. History remembers results, not intentions. So she made sure the empire worked, that money flowed, that the state survived her, even if it meant being feared. Catherine the Great didn't love money, she needed it. Money was her armor, her insurance, her proof that she belonged on the throne. Behind every reform, every palace, every war was a woman who knew exactly what it cost and paid anyway. That's how she funded an empire, and that's why she stayed in power.